Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. My name is Gail Snyder. I'm the Executive Director for Dementia Friendly Fort Worth, and we are proud to offer this program with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and United Way of Tarrant County. These programs are recorded and are made available through a YouTube channel for future use. Today, back with us again is Peggy Spear from the Amon Carter Museum of American Art and the Artful Moments program. And today our theme is color. So Peggy, we're anxious to hear what you have for us today.
All right, well, thank you, Gail. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm like a bad penny. I keep showing up every Wednesday. Here I am.
Hey, no, there's no bad pennies.
No.
Love it.
Even the ones on the railroad tracks are worth something.
That's right.
You're so.
I like it. Then I'm gonna keep coming here.
You're so.
All right, let me get y'all set up. All right, I'm gonna take a screenshot now, save it, and then we'll hit the road. All
okay.
Right.
Wait, and I think I'm showing you the wrong. You guys have seen that one already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Here we are, people. All right, we'll share. Okay, everyone smile. 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness. Let me do it again. Guys, it's been a morning. We didn't have internet all morning. 1,
Oh no.
2. Okay, let me just save it real fast. Marketing has been on me about it. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. We're doing color today. So we're going to spend time with 2 different artworks, and one of the artists is an old friend from last week. So we'll save him for the end. But we're going to start with this beautiful string sculpture that is in our museum entitled Plexus number 34. It's been up since 2016. Have any of you been to the museum and actually seen this in person?
No.
I've been to the museum, but I didn't see that when I was there.
Correct. I don't remember seeing it.
Okay. So, Gail, I remember when you came, and I think we were under construction then, so it was like, look everywhere but at the art. So, anyway, this beautiful artwork is called it's an installation, and it was an on-site installation. So this particular artist, Gabriel Dahl, he's actually from Mexico City, but lives in Dallas. His studio is in Dallas. Put together this. He had a vision, and then he put together this installation for our museum. And I'm telling you now, every picture I show you will not do any justice at all to what this artwork is. I mean, you walk in and you just are so overwhelmed by the beauty of this particular sculpture. It's so happy, it's so cheery. The fact there's a rainbow in our building, everybody loves it. So he's named it Plexus number 34, which this is his 34th sculpture that looks like this, or is made of string. And he names them Plexus because he's really referencing this elaborate matrix of string he's using to create kind of like the blood and neuron plexus in our own body. It's got a life of its own, and he's really referencing that. So let's see, you can see a detail of the sculpture. Any guesses? I said it earlier, but any guesses on what this material is?
Almost looks like a plastic.
Okay, you guess plastic, Steve? Yeah. It kind of does look like plastic. And when you're under it, when you're standing under it, it's 2 stories above you. You can't even really tell. So looking at it this close isn't even how you would really see it in real life. But we got plastic. What else? Any other guesses?
Fabric.
Fabric. Okay, we're getting closer.
Yeah, some wool strings.
Wool string. We are using the sewing thread, commercial sewing thread.
Okay.
The tiny commercial sewing thread, cotton, that you would just put in a sewing machine. And that's what he's using.
So do you spin it into bigger cords or just
no? It's fascinating what he does. It looks like they're thick, like
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess like it's almost like wool string.
yeah.
No, so what he did, he uses this tiny, tiny thread as
Wow.
it is and goes back and forth. So the kind of when we were talking about last week, the creation of the artwork is just as fascinating as the actual artwork itself. This is one of those situations. So he is using sewing thread. Here's another image of what it looks like in space. You can see
Wow.
how
Looks
commanding it is in the room. Again, this picture is not doing justice to what it looks
Yeah.
like.
It's an ultimate string art.
It's ultimate string art. I mean, to the nth degree.
It almost looks like a hologram.
Yes, it does.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
It really does. And depending on where you're standing, like you can see the balcony here, it looks so totally different because then you're looking through both. It's a V. So you're looking through both sides of the rainbow. If you're standing with your back against the wall here looking up, you're seeing both of them shoot out. So it looks totally different, kind of hologram-esque, depending on where you're standing. And the time of day, it looks totally different. And the weather, I mean, it never looks the same. Each time, you know, as the season's changing, it looks so different from, you know, in August than the way it did in January.
Well, it looks like it sort of acts like a prism or something.
It's exactly what it looks like. It's really cool. And so it looks like, you know, some people even think that it was lit. It has such a glowing effect to it.
Oh, wow.
But it was not. It's all string, and he's only using 16 different colors of string.
Mhm.
So going back here, you can kind of see the gradation of colors. It's only 16 different colors, so he was really good at blending. And so he's using this thread. Any guesses on how much thread he used?
How long is the from the point on the bottom to the point on the top?
Ooh, I knew, Don, you'd have these math questions for me. And
Never
I
mind.
don't have the answer for you, but it's, I'm trying to see if I have one. Well, now I'm giving away
Okay.
how the sausage is made.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question, but the next one picture shows the question.
So he's hooking it. Yeah, this is how he's
How
hooking
thick?
it.
Okay.
How many?
It's one, when he's using a color, it's one continuous thread. So it's not like he's using long pieces to try from one.
Right, you just going one, going back and forth, back and forth.
Where do you find
Okay.
thread that long?
Well, yeah, so this is, he gave us a bunch of his spools. So this is what one spool looks like. And then I think he would knot it at the end of the string and then keep going back and forth.
So does each little hook here have a different color on it, or is it
Yeah,
blended?
so depending on the effect he was trying to create, so like number 6 down here might have, and this isn't from our artwork, but this is just an example of what his
Okay.
armature looks like. Number 6 at our museum might have, you know, all these red strings, but by the time you get to 20, where he's using the green. So you're not seeing the same thread color on every
Mhm.
single hook, so you can create this rainbow effect.
This is a smaller spool I have.
Uh-huh.
I got it at Harbor Freight.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, you can buy a sewing all with them, and it comes with this extra thread. You can buy the thread there at Harbor Freight, so
Nice.
it's not that expensive either.
Yeah.
You can buy big rolls at places, Tandy and some of the other leather shops have big rolls. Professional sewing shops have big rolls of this stuff. So it's easier.
The company he used was Guterman.
Uh-huh.
Which is just, yeah, we just ordered them. There was no special deal.
Right.
We just ordered
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And so he would create, he saw the space. He said as a child, he'd always envisioned his artwork in Lehman Carter. So he'd already, it was easy for him to come up with the type of design he wanted.
Wow.
So then he has to do all the math to figure out the tension. So to make sure there's not too much
Right.
string pulling on these hooks so nothing rips out of the wall. To figure out how much string he actually needed, which he needed 80 miles of string.
Oh,
So it would be like driving from the center of Fort Worth over to Dallas, center of Dallas, driving back to Fort Worth, and then to Arlington to the Cowboy Stadium. That's how many miles of thread he used for this artwork.
Wow.
So that's a lot of tension too. So there really
Yeah.
is a lot of math to it. Like math, my brain, I would just not know what to do. So he's really thinking about the whole engineering side of it.
Well, and the string must have a very high strength to it that it doesn't take the tension and not break or start unraveling.
No, you're right, and I think that's part of the reason why he gravitated toward this company is he had experimented with other strings, and kind of like any other artist, you find the product that you like the most, and that was what he was comfortable with working.
Okay.
So Daw came to the museum. We were ready to install, and Daw came with his 2 assistants. You see an assistant here standing on the balcony, and then you see another assistant standing on the cherry picker. And we had hooks installed on the top of the atrium along the right corner, probably about 8 feet, and then 8 feet on the left corner. And then we had an armature brought down the wall. So Daw would be in one cherry picker. He would loop the thread through, and then he would pass the thread off to his partner here, kind of using almost like a pool skimmer, but it's a hook at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would pass the thread down to the other assistant who would thread it through that hook. And she would pass it back to him, and then he would go back, back and forth and back.
Oh, wow.
And forth.
Wow.
So we were open during the installation so visitors could come and see how this process went. And I have another video clip like I did last week. I'm going to show you a video clip of what this installation kind of looked like.
So Peggy,
Yeah.
the ceiling already looked like that? It was already a geometrical pattern?
Yes. Yeah. We did not have to do anything we have lime shellstone here. And then this is, we call it the lantern. There are windows along the edges. You can sort of see the natural lighting. And then it pops up over top, kind of create a tent. So everything is attached to the shellstone, which was part of the process when we were doing it because shellstone's really porous. And so early on, we started seeing some of the tension was pulling the screws, which was pulling the armature out of the wall. So we had to get creative, and our installation team and our building facilities team came up with a really wonderful, armature situation that baby ain't going anywhere. So he started installing. It took him 2 weeks to install, working from 9 to 5.
Wow.
And with 2 assistants. So it was really cool. You could come in and watch how that installation happened. And then he would stand in his cherry picker, like you see him up here, standing in his cherry picker. He kept all his thread down there, and using that gridded chart, he was able to figure out, okay, now on this hook, I have to switch over to the blue, to the green. So he was able to create that prism effect you guys talked about earlier. And then he did it, working from left or right to left, and then did the same thing working from left to right on the other side of the V. And then everything met in the middle.
Hey, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
On the bottom, it says colorful sewing threads ling the cherry picker.
Not a typo.
Okay, all right. Because I was trying to figure out what ling meant.
No, ling
Maybe
is just
line.
my poor typing skills. There is no art historical meaning to that word at all.
Okay.
The way I read it, it says colorful sewing threads, ling. So ling might be a person, the cherry picker at Don's feet. So
Ling is no real person in this scenario.
Okay.
It's my poor typing. I'm keeping you on your toes. Paulette's awake. We got one awake.
good job, Paulette.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, whoop, I'm giving away.
Oh.
So this is, the title is called Plexus number 34. Gabriel Daw is, he initially, and I'm going to show you part of the video and he'll tell you more eloquently, but he has now been doing installations like this all over the country. when he did this artwork, it was just supposed to be a 2-year installation, and we actually ended up acquiring the artwork through North Texas Giving Day. We had enough donations. The museum received enough donations to outright purchase the artwork. So the rainbow isn't going away anytime soon. But when it does, the artist will decide. Like, we've had to vacuum it with a little vacuum to get all the dust off the string. And it's almost, think of like an electric toothbrush.
Oh yeah.
Instead of a brush, it's got a little suction on the top.
Yeah.
And so it took our conservator 2 days of going up and down and up and down and getting all the dust off. And she collected a dust ball about the size of a softball. It was so cool. Everyone was like in love with what she had collected. It was just like so satisfying. And the rainbow looked so bright. It was like it had got its shine. And so when the artist decides that the string has lost its luster, that's when we take the artwork down. And what he does is, his practice is to create a relic. And so we keep all the string and we just put it in a Plex box. And that's how the artwork will remain. It will never be installed again. It's just the colorful string that's left over. And it's called a relic, like a saint. So you can highlight it. But I'm going to show you just a quick little, the video is 5 minutes. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but just to hear a little bit of him talking about his artwork and a little bit of the curator, whose name is Maggie, talking about the creation and installation of this artwork. So let me switch screens. Okay, so share screen, we're going to do. All right. Y'all see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Out of polyester, and it's just, I mean, literally just for sewing machines. And I use that material because of an extension of my previous work, which was embroidery and textiles. As a man working in that medium, I felt I was challenging those social constructs of gender identity. This space, it has a symmetry and some sort of purity to it. And the way I decided to sort of approach it is by respecting that symmetry.
So this is when a curator kicks into high gear and says, okay, can we accomplish the impossible? Get a lift that can take him 44 feet up into the air, find assistance, get the funds in order to do a project like this.
The process of installing a piece like this, it's very methodical, so it's very repetitive, and it becomes like a Zen process. It started as an experimentation of the material and the relationship between what fashion is and the material of fashion used in architectural scale.
All right,
I realized that what I...
The video is really interesting, but I'll stop you all there. So just kind of a nice little insight on the process, what inspired him, what he was thinking. You get to see our curator, Maggie, as well.
So I noticed one part of the video showed that each hook had multiple colors going to it.
Yes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they all like that?
Yeah, and it's all like a teacup hook. They're all open hooked. It's not like a iron hook, you know, it's an actual open hook.
But it looked like each one of them had red, yellow, green.
And that section. And so it's like the way, yes, they all do, but then he spans them out. So some started to fade.
Okay, got it.
Depending on the top or the bottom.
Okay.
But yeah, all of the hooks have way more than just one color on it.
Okay, great. Can we see another picture of the full installation before we go to the next?
Yeah, let me switch back to my trusty PowerPoint.
Does the string never break?
No, the only issues we've really seen is the string might have broken when he was doing it. I can't remember because it's been so many years now. But the tension was really the issue he kept coming across. So the string wasn't breaking; it was the screws coming out of the wall that was the issue.
Okay.
So then he adjusted and gave the string a little more slack, and then we had a better anchoring system. So nothing has broken since it's been installed. Nothing has snapped or anything like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can see on the table in this particular picture, we have as an activity. So if we were in person, you would all have your own little square
Oh, cool.
hooks on it, and you guys can kind of practice that motion and see how tedious and time-consuming it really is.
Do people of all ages do that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
We have pillows, and so we don't always have tables up, but we'll still have this activity, and we'll have pillows on the floor so people can sit on the chairs. People sit there for like 45 minutes, an hour.
Wow.
And then we just take their little string off the hooks, and they get their own relic, kind of a la
Okay.
doll. So, and it should be noted too that so Gabriel Daw he's Mexican American, and he's a homosexual, so he really does a lot of rainbow things as well. So to reinforce the gay pride, the connection to the LGBT community. So there's a lot nested in just a beautiful rainbow color. There really is more to it as well.
How do you spell his name?
Gabriel Daw, D-A-W-E.
D-A-W-G.
E as in Edward.
E. Okay.
So it's really cool. So he's alive and kicking. He's creating installations all over the country, all over the world. You will start to see him in more museums all over the place. So it was really neat to have this contemporary Mexican American artist. And then if you can kind of see in the hallway right here, there's two artworks hanging. We're now going to go to that space. And what's currently on view is this pinata wall.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is our friend Justin Favela. We talked about him last week. He was the one who created our nacho mobile. Justin is part of the LGBTQ community as well. And so having these two Latin American LGBTQ artists working in the same space has been a really cool conversation, using such cheap and affordable materials in such an inspiring and different way. So it's a fun, colorful little hallway into the atrium. Unfortunately, Ponte Nuevo, the artwork we're looking at right now, is going down in time.
Yeah.
So by going down, it's going to be taken off the walls and
Taken off the
not
wall.
reused anywhere else.
No, he doesn't care what we do with the artwork afterwards, but it just can't remain an artwork. So currently our curatorial team is figuring out what do we do with this artwork. How will it, so the way it was attached to the wall, again, we had talked about the fascinating story about the actual installing of the artwork. This is another one of those really cool stories. So Justin Favela, this is one.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It's so pretty. It's so pretty. This wall is a mirror copy of what's on the other wall. So it's almost like you smash your peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you pull it apart and it's the same dang thing on either side.
Wow.
The colors are gorgeous.
It's beautiful. It's so breathtaking. And so do you guys remember what material he used?
Pinata paper?
Tissue paper.
Yeah.
Got it. The same one and the same. This was his color key that we used. And we ordered boxes and boxes of tissue paper for him from Party City. So he's
Party City. Let's hear it.
no real hookup with an art,
Yeah.
dealer there. We got him from Party City, and they arrived in boxes as tall as me. I mean, and I'm 5'6". They were massive boxes of just flat sheets of tissue paper. We had to load them all out, lay them all on the floor so we could see everything that we had and figure out which color was which. And so he had ordered these many colors, and it's a total of 43 different colors
Wow.
that he ended up making. So this
How
was
long?
beautiful. Oh, go ahead.
How long time does it take him to make a mural like that?
Whew, that is the $1 million question. So it took him, the long answer, or the short answer, it took him 2 full weeks working from 6 in the morning, some nights to 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. And it
Wow.
took him about 20 assistants. Plus the
20
artist.
assistants?
Yeah, we all hands on deck with staff. So at some of those fringe pieces, yours truly had to cut, because it was like, if you have any time, we need staff to come and start cutting. It's all like fringe. We'll see details. But so he was inspired. He created, this was another site-specific installation. We asked him to look through our collection and find artworks that inspire you. This is kind of his thing. He is often inspired by the collections of the artwork or the museum where he'll be working. He's inspired by he's Guatemalan, Mexican American, so he's inspired by his heritage. He's Catholic, which often would inspire him. And so pulling on all of that, I think he's 33 or 34. He lives in Las Vegas. He came to us, he saw the space, and then he went back to his studio and came up with what he wanted to do. And he looked at our artworks, and he was really very much inspired by
Oh, yeah.
these prints.
Mm-hmm.
There's 40 prints in the whole collection of this particular series. So what he did is he pulled from some of his favorite details from all of these prints to inspire this collage looking. It ended up being a collage of his favorite details. You can see here, he included that, he loved that choo-choo train. Well, what we got right here, which is hard to see in this picture, a choo-choo train on a bridge.
Okay.
So he was really interested in, I have a soundbite of him talking about his thought process on this, but the series of prints you can see down here have bright flowers showing the beauty of the land, these beautiful greens and blues of the water, the smoke of the train, the terrain behind it. So he was really interested on how Mexico was being portrayed when these were made in the late 1880s. And that's what inspired him. So he created what this vision was using, like he said, the piñata paper. And we'll go back to that sound clip, but he created a key for basically a color by number. So he came in, he then projected it onto our walls, and we lined our walls with craft paper, just like butcher paper. Again, you can get at any craft store. We lined our walls with that, so he's not writing on actual paint. And then he projected his images and then traced them. And the letters that you're seeing in the middle match the key that I had showed you all earlier. So, here you see GM, and then GM on here is cool mint green. So then when we started putting this fringe on the wall, we knew where everything had to go. So the artist traced this all. He created the key. He then traced it on the wall. He did this on himself. This is our friend Justin Favela in his skeleton suit. Then we started in putting all the paper on the wall. So you can see all of the tissue paper laying on the wall. The tissue paper that had been cut, he was cutting them in about, we would fold the tissue paper in half, cut it in half, and then we would fringe about 12 inches up to it. So you can kind of see there would be a band at the top and then fringe cut at the bottom. And then the staff and his assistants and volunteers would then cut the pieces they needed to start filling in, you can see here, the key.
Oh.
So then, and we started from the bottom and worked our way up to the top.
Okay.
It was
And it just left enough color from the previous pieces that get the idea what the picture is. That's great.
Yeah. So you can see you're really only seeing a couple of inches
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or and and it's hanging so far up where it's, and you just use Elmer's glue again. Pick that bad boy up right at, I think, Target maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we were using. And so you can see
Wow.
people would come in and we had ladders. So staff would just kind of pick an area. Some staff was only cutting paper. Some staff was only applying it to the wall. And then Justin was the one that would be in the cherry picker, the actual artist himself, to get all of the stuff all the way at the top.
Wow. So the staff was actually putting the stuff on the wall also.
Mm-hmm. And it was only like a few who he saw what, like how they were doing it and was like, yes.
Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah.
But yeah, it was like kind of vetted. No one let me near glue. I didn't have to test. I was only allowed to cut, and even then I was corrected on how my cutting was. So it was, even though there were a lot of people helping, they were still very much, he was very much regulating the quality, there was quality control.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is the staff listed as being the artist as well?
No, we are not.
That's too bad.
I know, but it's okay because he came up with the idea. He did all of that work. I mean, my goodness, that in and of itself took a lot of time. That was 3 days alone of him just tracing. It took longer than we had budgeted for. And another thing he was working with is you can kind of see, not dramatically, but you can see this is a sloped wall.
Yeah.
So he was then having to make sure it didn't go down, that it stayed pretty straight when he was projecting it to trace it. So I have a little sound clip, kind of like we've listened to in the past, of him talking about, it's just a 1 minute blurb of him talking about what his thinking was behind this project. Sorry, gang. Here we go.
A lot of my work is inspired by my culture, my heritage, and art history. I love art history, specifically 19th century Mexican painting and landscapes. These works of art here at the Amen Carter by Casimiro Castro were really inspiring because I'd never seen works related to the railroad. The railroad was a symbol of progress. Trains, the smoke, the industry in the images, the beauty of the nature juxtaposed with that is just incredible in these paintings. So I was inspired to collage them together to make mural here at the Amen Carter. Making them out of tissue paper and piñata material is not only celebrating these works of art and the culture, but it's also pointing out the over-the-top exoticization of the view that the world had on Mexico at the time.
Just a quick little snippet of what inspired him to create this mural.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
When they go to take it down, because it's on the butcher paper, can it be taken down and rolled up, or will it be destroyed when it comes down?
Well, that's kind of what they're trying to figure out. There's all sorts of, yes, it could theoretically be rolled up. We don't own the artwork, so we couldn't install it again. So, and he doesn't want, he's coming to take the mobile, the Nacho Calder hanging right here, but he does not want any of the paper. We don't really even know if it will come down in sheets, if like as we start to peel, because it was stapled, the craft paper was stapled to the wall. We don't know if it's just gonna like, we just are ripping it out, like that's just the only way we're actually gonna be able to do it. Some staff has requested for pieces of the of the installation because they helped work on it. So it would just be like a little, So who knows what's going to happen? They have a month to decide, but we will not be saving it in our holdings. We might keep a piece of it for archives, but we don't have storage for it, and it's not our collection. So
get a fire hose and wash it down.
Yeah,
That'll
right.
get it off. Yeah.
Well, and it's really interesting because that you say that, because normally when the lights are on, the lights start to fade the tissue paper. well, we were closed for so many months because of COVID. The tissue, and we didn't have the lights on, and we never keep the lights on when we're not open. All the lights are always off in the museum space to protect the art. So this is like just as bright and vibrant, really, as it was when it was installed last September. So it's a shame that we're not getting more life out of it because of COVID. But I mean,
How long time will it be at the museum?
so it went up September last year, and it's going middle of September last year, and it's coming down middle of November this year.
Oh.
Oh, we better hurry.
So if
We
you
better
want
hurry,
to
yes.
see it, make arrangements to go to the museum
Yes.
right away.
Yeah, really, really do. And you'll get to see the mobile as well, because those are all coming down at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
The nacho wheel.
The nacho will be up, but not much longer. And then we're having, in this space, we're having another living artist come and install an artwork, totally different. It's an artist and professor from Bowdoin, or from Maine. Her last name's Natasha Bowdoin. And it's called In the Night Garden. And it's kind of like a creepy, florally scene that will be going in. So totally different, really fun, larger than life installation. Well, my friends, this is what I got for you today.
Okay.
Thank you. That was
Can I ask
interesting.
you another question real quick, Peggy?
Please go ahead.
So what do you get on the first string art? What did you think, how long do you think that's going to last before it has to be, before it's not going to be bright or anything?
You know what? I don't know. Because they vacuumed it and cleaned it, and the artist, again, it's the same with the color fading. That's when they decide it comes down. It's been up now for 4 years, and it looks just as good as the first day we put it up.
Okay.
So I think it will be up for a while.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's not, you can come in 2 years and that bad boy will still be up. I think. No rush to see it, but if you do see it, it's really cool, because then the two artists met when the Pinata mural opened. The two artists got to meet each other, and it was really cool having those two artists get to see each other and how their work was playing off of each other. It was a cool moment. All right, my friends, I'll be back next week. We're going to talk about fashion because it's Halloween and everyone's got to have a good costume. So that's what we're going to be talking
Costumes, okay.
about. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for celebrating my birthday.
Yes. We'll sing a happy birthday to you.
That's right.
Paulette.
Oh, hey, do you have a second? I want to show you this.
Whoa. Is that pencil or watercolor?
That is pencil, and our grandsons gave it to my husband, made him some
nice.
artwork for his birthday yesterday.
Oh.
So
What was the first one?
A helmet of some, maybe?
Looks like a helmet of some sort.
it is. It's a knight in armor, I guess.
Okay.
Cool.
And then this was just kind of
Very nice.
He's talented.
Got some budding talent there.
This
Yeah.
one is done by Sam, and this one is done by Oscar.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Oh, they're both good.
They're the two California grandsons. So
That's some nice mail to receive then.
I told them that's what I wanted. I want a drawing for my birthday, which is coming up soon.
How fun.
Yeah. You can't believe how busy October is. Everything that happens in our lives happens in October.
I love it.
If anybody decides they want to visit the museum before those pieces go away, let me know and we'll set up so we can meet in person at the museum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, please let
Okay.
me know.
We would
can't
like to
have
see it.
tours. We
Okay.
can't have tours, so I won't be able to officially make it a tour, but if I bump into you all by chance,
Okay.
Okay.
some knowledge.
If we
Okay.
come, we'll let you know when we're coming.
Perfect. That would be
Okay.
great.
Peggy,
All right,
Thank you, Peggy.
thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Peggy.
thank you. I'll see y'all next
Great
week.
program. You do good programs.
Oh, thank you, Paulette. You guys are good company. I love it. Talk to y'all soon.
Okay,
Okay.
bye-bye. All right. So hang with me here just a minute. I've got a couple of things to share.
Oh, cookie
Can you all
conversation.
see my screen?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So tomorrow is Cookie Conversations,
Ooh.
which
Yummy,
means
yummy.
I need some ideas for what kind of cookies we want to bake tomorrow.
Mm.
We won't be able to make it. We sing on Thursdays.
You sing on Thursday with the musical memory singers?
Yes.
Okay. I've been to visit that group.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Okay. So Dusty, Paulette, or Dawn, do y'all have any suggestions for what kind of cookies we want to make?
Maybe something with a Halloween theme.
Okay.
I don't know if that's sugar cookies or some other kind of cookie.
We could do sugar cookies with orange frosting,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds good.
and maybe some sprinkles. Or we could there's an iced pumpkin cookie, but I have to check to see if it has cinnamon in it
Oh, okay.
because Paulette's allergic to cinnamon, so we can't do cinnamon.
Well, she just can't have any then.
That would be kind of mean since it's
That would be mean. Sorry, Paulette.
Oh, well, hey, life happens.
Okay. Dusty, do you have any suggestions?
No, but I just got my cookies yesterday that I don't know if you mailed them out and they got lost in the mail or you remailed them or what.
They must have got lost in the mail. Wow.
Wow, that's right.
That's like a week and a half.
Yeah.
I talked to Janine about it and I thought maybe she said something to you and you remailed them, but it wasn't that important to get them. But I just thought I would let you know that they just came.
Wow. That's the worst service we've had yet. Well, I hope they were still edible.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of course.
That cookie will be
Yes,
good
of
for a
course.
while.
Cookies are strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, they last for a while.
So Hans and Yeti, whenever we do cookies, I mail out a box of cookies to all the participants.
Okay. Well, do you always bake on Thursdays?
Usually it's Thursdays just because
Oh.
that's what works with our system. So,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we normally sing.
okay. Well, we'll miss you tomorrow.
Yes.
And I need to go ahead and get some other contact information from you. So I'll email you to get your other contact information.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
All right. And before we close, I also want to share with you in the chat box, immediately following this, we move over to a different Zoom room for the Fifth Street Cafe. And we don't have a guest presenter. We just chat about whatever we want to talk about during that time. So if you have questions, or sometimes Paulette has shown us artwork, or Don could show us some of his models or paintings he's done, we just chat.
Okay.
And so we have about an hour. So I will, I just shared that in the chat box. So all you have to do is click on the link, and Paulette, I'll send it to you in an email again.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Because I know you can't see the chat box. And as soon as you click on that link, you're going to leave this group and you'll be in the other place. But don't think you're in the wrong place because it takes me longer to get there than it does you. So if you're there and I'm not there, wait at least 5 minutes
Okay.
to make sure that I get over there, because for some reason it takes me longer to transition over there than it does for y'all to click that link and go. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you can't make it, have a wonderful day, and otherwise I'll see you over in the other room in just a couple minutes.
Okay.
What button do I hit?
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Paulette, I'm going to email it to you.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, so give me
All right.
just a second.
No.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Hans and Yeti.
Bye.
Bye.